I'm here at the National Waterways Museum in Ellesmere Port, and they've got a boat called Basuto. I've not a clue what a Basuto is, but let's go and see. I'm Craig.
Hi Rebecca, nice to meet you.
I believe this is Basuto.
Yes, it certainly is.
Do you want to tell me something about it?
I will do, yeah, no problem.
Go on then.
Basuto was built in 1902 up in Glasgow. She's an inland puffer. Puffers were designed in around 1850, and they're called puffers because of the noise that they used to make. They would go puff, puff, puff from the steam engine, and so that's why they're now called puffers, and the Clyde, because that's where she was built, so Clyde puffer. And Basuto's the only one of her kind left in its current condition, and she's the only inland puffer that we have as well. She's ferried parts out to boats. She worked in both the World Wars, so she's been adapted over time.
So what's the significance with this boat?
She's the only puffer that's really in this most unique condition, and because of her significance, the National Historic ships have a couple of registers, and a lot of our vessels are on the National Historic Ship Register. But because Basuto's so important, she's actually on something called the National Historic Fleet Register. Now, that doesn't give her a formal designation like listed buildings, but it does demonstrate how important she is. And to give you an idea of how important she is, some other ships that you've probably heard of that are also on that fleet register is the SS Great Britain, Cutty Sark. So you can see that she sits alongside those really important boats that are internationally important, and so is Basuto.
Why does she need to come out of the water?
She was brought to the museum in 1981 and has been a static exhibit on the water ever since then. Unfortunately though, because of her age, no matter what we do, she is sinking. We have in the past been able to go in and block the holes with concrete, which isn't ideal, but it's the only thing that we've been able to do. Because of the way that she's built, you can't actually restore her or conserve her because the bits that we need to conserve are underwater. So she's sinking, and we just need to get her out. Once she sinks, we'd be able to get her out, but she's going to damage her, it's going to cause her harm. So the best thing for her is to get her out of the water. And so there's going to be a big piece of work for which we've been really grateful to the National Heritage Memorial Fund, who have given us around £234,000.
So when she's out of the water, what sort of work are you going to be doing on her?
First of all, remove the asbestos that we've got on her because we can't actually get on her at the moment. That's another reason that we can't do the plugging, because she has asbestos, so we need to remove all that. Once that's happened, we will then have a very large crane who's going to come in and lift her. It's one of the biggest cranes you can have, and we'll actually have to tell the airport, because the airport is just behind us, John Lennon Airport. We'll actually have to let them know that the lift is happening. So she's going to be lifted around to the slipway, and that's going to be her permanent home, where she will then be lowered onto a cradle, and she will sit there. And for the very first time in her life, apart from when she was built, people are actually going to be able to come and walk 360 degrees around Basuto.
So it's always nice to see something like this being brought out of the water and preserved for people to see in the future.
So we're not going to ever conserve her fully. She's never going to go back in the water. We're never going to sail her again. So what we are going to do is some remedial works that will make her watertight, which means that she will have a much, much longer life. So we've got a specialist team coming in, and they're going to hydroblast at a very, very high PSI, and that's going to remove all of the loose debris that's on her, inside and out, and then she will be coated with an epoxy coating paint system, essentially, that will then give her this much longer life. And if you've got something with such an interesting story to tell, it's such a shame. And she's kind of hidden away down here as well, so when we move her onto the slipway, it's going to give people much more of an opportunity to learn about her and find out about her. And it's just a really nice opportunity for us to save such an important vessel.
Well, thank you for all your advice and your help and all the information you've given us. So I'll see you again sometime when it's out of the water.
Look forward to showing you.
Thank you.
Right,
bye-bye.
Nice to meet you. Bye-bye.
Bye. What a wonderful place this is, and it wouldn't be the same without the volunteers. This whole place relies on its volunteers, and what a lot of people don't realise is that the Canal and River Trust is a charity. Now, I don't know about you, but I will certainly be coming back.